Technology and Inventions During the Renaissance Period by Katie Morson. From 1300 to 1600 AD, the world experienced a time of human awakening. The era that brought together new beliefs in faith, politics, inventions in science, new technology, and art is known as the Renaissance period. This time spread through Germany, England, France, and Spain. Many of these inventors can be referred to as a Renaissance man, who is known as a person with knowledge and skills in multiple areas. There are numerous elements that go along with the Renaissance period and were an important part of history. Specifically, the inventions that were created during this time have helped shape and progress mankind. The spread of the Renaissance culture can be given to the invention of the printing press. Before the printing press, there was a method called block printed, created by Chinese. This was a costly and very timely process. The government and businessmen wanted a more sufficient way to reproduce written work. The printing press made possible the diffusion of both secular and religious learning. The printing press was invented by Johannes Gutenberg. Gutenberg worked as a goldsmith and finished his development by 1440 AD. The printing press used metal letters that were attached in lines with the use of a mixture of lead, tin, and antimony that could melt at a low temperature, toss well in the die, and then maintain it in the press. Gutenberg was successful in this creation of the machine because these letters could be arranged in any shape or form. A variety of words and text could now be produced. Gutenberg helped spread knowledge and create a culture from this invention. Before 1500, over 2,000 European cities had their hand on this famous machine. An example of Gutenberg's work from the printing press was the Holy Bible. This book was published in Mainz, Germany, and it consisted of 14 lines on each page. He had to borrow money to start this project, and over 50 copies had been printed. The Heritage World Civilization textbook gives insight to the Gutenberg Bible. It states, in addition to the humanistic scholarship, print also served the educational and propaganda campaigns of princes and religious reforms, increasing literacy in both Latin and vernacular languages. The Gutenberg Bible was one of the most stimulating works. Through Gutenberg's invention, book and other written articles were being produced at a much lower cost in a sufficient way. Galileo was known for his mechanical inventions. One of his most famous inventions was the telescope. In 1609, Galileo made his first telescope. It was modeled after other parts of the instrument which were produced in different areas of Europe. At the time, these telescopes could only magnify up to 3 times, but Galileo created his to magnify up to 20 times. This led him to be able to see the moon, locate 4 satellites of Jupiter, find sunspots, and verify the phases of Venus. The Copernican system declares that the Earth and other planets revolved around the sun. Galileo's discoveries proved this theory. Before this, the system believed that the sun revolved around the Earth. The microscope was invented by a father and son known as Hans and Zachariah Janssen. They were engaged in experimenting with lens, and the first compound microscope was created in 1590. During the 17th century, Anthony van Leeuwenhoek came up with a method for grinding and polishing tiny lenses of curvature to give a magnification up to 270 times the original size. This led to his first microscope to his biology discoveries that he is famous for today. His discoveries include bacteria and yeast plants. His findings can be found in the Royal Society of England and the French Academy. Leonardo da Vinci was born in 1452 and is famous for his works of the Last Supper and the Mona Lisa. He contributed his intelligence to art, architecture, and technology. He was also a scientist and engineer. Although da Vinci is mostly known and famous for his paintings and artistic works, he had his hand in mind behind the idea of the bicycle, helicopter, and submarine. Da Vinci's sketchbook contained many inventions before they were made to life. The helicopter was a sketch in Leonardo da Vinci's book that mapped out how the device would work. The first helicopter was built in 1940 but could not have been created without the help of da Vinci's sketches. The parachute and the flying machine are other products that could not have been created without the help of Leonardo da Vinci. Another fascinating invention was scuba gear. Scuba gear was created by da Vinci's sketches to help create sneak attacks on enemy ships. Overall, Leonardo da Vinci had numerous ideas and is given much credit for inventions, artwork, and scientific knowledge during the Renaissance period. Cornelius Drebbel was an inventor for King James I of England. Although he's not given the credit for descriptions, ideas, and sketches of the submarine, he did create a vessel that reached close to 15 feet underwater. Oarsmen powered the rowboat-like craft. An author concluded that the momentum created by the rowers, accompanied with downward-sloping foredeck, kept the boat right under the surface. When the rowing stopped, the machine would then come above the water. After Drebbel's invention, Marine Mersenne created the Rotterdam boat that was used for military use but failed to launch in 1654. Eventually, David Bushnell created the turtle that was successful in 1776. From airplanes to submarines and microscopes to the printing press, the world has evolved into a better machine and industries because of the Renaissance men. Their efforts and knowledge are still referred to today. These inventions help create and lead to the technology that we have and are still being created into new technology. The Renaissance not only gave us great art and artists, but a time of new inventions and new developments that will last throughout history.